Afternoon, guys. So you are JPY at long sodding glasses coming to the party. Hey. Well, guys, I mean, in the American way, it's females and males. So something, guys. What about the girls? No, guys is the American community. Hi, guys, me, everyone. Okay. But yeah, nice to see that as well. Sodding laughs coming to the damn party. Eh? Hello, hi, Pietro. Yes, time to say, test your patience, but anyway, it's coming right. In fact, all of them not too bad today. The Brents and the gold also looking okay. This is GBP. I think it's, you must have heard the sleeping sickness. I think it's been infected with the sleeping sickness, this thing, yeah. It's 15-minute one, probably easier to see on the 1 hour. Just, I don't know, just seem to have, gone to a coma of some sort. Spotting AUD. You have to remind me there. Thank you very much. You're quite yeah, that's been I think we're still in it by the skin of our teeth, yeah. But it's really a bit of a disaster. But might come right. Not out yet. There's hope, yeah. Okay, afternoon, guys. 4 o'clock, we get started. Not to start on a rather disappointing note. We're still in it. There's hope yet. It might come to the party. So we're still in anyway. But just mentioning just a moment ago, at least our Euro JPY is coming to the party at last. Gives a bit of this word jip I use, can't get a better one. Jip gave me quite a good jip earlier on. I thought, hey, and then the Euro came out exactly the same. Virtually a complete damp squib. See, climax virtually sod all happened. And it just jumped around a bit, some lack of belief that it was exactly the same as expected. Twice now, the CPI we had last week and this one exactly the same, very surprising. But anyway, that being as it may, yeah, so Euro JPY is now seems to be doing okay. I don't know what price you got in, but if you're about, what about, we're 21, they've got down here, that's a trade. So 20 pips in profit. Is it worth moving the stop yet, just in case? 20 pips away, leave it up to you. You might want to leave it. Don't want to come back, stop you out and shoot back up again. But it has been a bit of an area of a range trade. So if it does get to that area there, definitely move your stop and keep an eye on it because it might not get to TP. It might just go this far and come back. And that TP is at 144. Yeah, TP's up there. No, about there somewhere. Yeah. So it starts sort of getting there and coming off. Maybe worth taking because it might retract again. Demand some profit. So whether you move stop loss or not, I'll leave that to your hands. But yeah, but at least the bottom line seems to be about 20 pips profit. No, that's not bad. It's boring. And like I mentioned there, it's got the sleeping sickness. Get the technical, proper medical term for it, but I'm using the well-known one, the sleeping sickness. It just doesn't seem to get good. Every time it comes off, the thing pops up. Then, of course, the good news, it comes back again. But it just can't get going. I don't understand it. That's one of the strongest, and this is one of the weaker ones at the moment. I don't know why, what the problem is. But anyway, it's was in profit earlier on today, and then it can't seem to get going. But maybe do the same with Euro JPY. If you're about to scream and shout and kick the screen in vented anger, the thing might just come to your rescue and come off down. We shall have to just hang on in there. Oh, can't you see it properly? Maybe we'll stop the share and try again. Thought you could. Sorry, let's have a look. If you can't see the charts, tell me. Share again. Can you see the charts now? If you can't tell me, because I have the wrong one up. You can now. Good. So what happened there? Okay. Thanks for letting me know. Anyway, sure. Rattling away. No wonder you're getting a bit confused. Okay. So I say it's just hovering. Look at this for 1 hour. Look at that for indecision. It's not a way to go. It's just sleeping sickness. But anyway, that beats it, mate. It's okay. Anyway, you're a JPY and a profit. That's good news. Gold's coming to the party. Yeah, it's okay. In about $10 a profit. Start 1832. Now it's 1820, maybe $8, $9. Okay, but still it's in a profit, main thing. And the Brent seems to be doing, last I looked, seems to be doing okay as well. It's nice to start on that note. So if you took those 3 trades, you should be okay. Okay, all good with that. Yeah, it's normal at NAS half past. Look at the NAS quickly, it's drifting around. Yeah, it's hovering around there, let it hover. Yeah, what's the dollar doing? Dollar's gaining a bit of strength, it still seems to be bent strong. So it might jump around, maybe it might go past 12.3, we don't know. It does jump around a bit, but I'm still happy with the downside projection. I should definitely sell now, absolutely. Don't join the ship of gold, mate. It's now become a ship of lead, it's sailed. No, yeah, that ship's definitely sold. I was a bit hesitant even to agree to the 1832 sell. I want slightly higher, but I thought, well, the 4 hour was positive for the negative, if you see what I mean, for the downside. So I went ahead. I'm glad I did. And yeah, seems to be okay. So yeah, definitely enjoy it now. It's pretty late to the show there. In fact, I think the guys in 1832 can maybe even look at maybe if you don't want to put it as close to 18, don't want to put it in 1832 as too close, maybe reduce it a bit, sort of reducing risk a bit. Brent's still too early to play around with. I like about $2 separation on Brent. It can jump around $2 quite easily from the past experience. We got it at 80.50, so that's too close. So yeah, I think if you get to 82.50, then you get it to break even and see if we get the TP going. Anyway, it's all right. But yeah, ship has sailed, the golden ship has sailed. Okay. Right, as I mentioned, 3:30. Just a second. We had the GDP coming out. It was slightly lower than expected. I don't know if it's had a radical effect on the dollar. Let's have a quick look here. Not really. Jumped around a bit, but not much. Okay. Initial jobless claims, slightly more. 94K expected, 200K as a result. Remember, it's the other way around to the non-farms. The higher the figure, the worse in a way, because it means more people are claiming welfare. Nice to be able to claim welfare, eh? Yeah, so it's only 6,000 more people claiming welfare. So it wasn't a big difference. So the dollar just sort of maybe had a little bit of a boom and shrugged it off. So at least at the moment, those fundamentals are out of the way. And we just got to look at tomorrow, just quickly, tomorrow's fundamentals while I'm doing this. Euro to okay, tomorrow German GDP, tomorrow at 9, and then in the afternoon is the purchasing index, and the new home sales come out up 3 and 5. That shouldn't be. That's not. It's important, but it's not that important. So hopefully we'll get too much stuffing us around with those, just to bring you up to date on that. Okay, right. So the trades to open up. It's nice to start that way. I'm looking at a couple of others in the meantime. See if we can get one. I haven't checked it, so see we've got a chance here. Let's have a look. I think it's a chance of some upside here. Maybe I'm getting over enthusiastic, Swiss franc, but the chance of upside there. But if it's enough, 100 pips, probably just squeeze it, yeah. But I do see upside there. My only thing is it's not a weekly performance. Not that's truth, you know. 4 hour. Yeah, it seems to recover that in the 4 hour. I think we got a possibility of a trade on this one. The 4 hours backing it up. And the 1 hour is closed. You've got a confirmation on the 1 hour for a long trade. Remember, these lines work for every candlestick, if you like. Yeah, so the daily, it's not quite got his head propped above, but from this basis here, it seems to be holding that area. So I think some possibility of some upside there, about 100 pip potential target with about a 55 pip stop loss. I think that's been waiting for that. I think there might be a possibility there. I think that is a possibility. What I mean, sound a bit more excited, yeah. So I think we've got a possibility on that. So there we are. What do you think, guys? If any new guys are in, what do you think about that? Just want to say, you can post on the chat line. If you're not sure about something, please, it's a trading room, not a trading class, if you like. One class, basically, it's where we try and work together. We interact, as you can see already on the chat line, and it just needs to sort of say, put your name forward and say, what do you mean by that? Or I'm a bit confused, that black line, what does it mean? No problem at all. I can do all that. I'm not going to go to a long training session, but that's for the classes, but I can certainly clarify. And yeah, it's up to you just to join in, basically. And of course, you can unmute if you want to go into more detail. Right. Okay. That being as it may, I see some pulse to the upside, and the more I like about the 4 hour, it seems to be breaking here, and the 1 hour seems to be holding at this stage of the game. So yeah, I see some possibility of upside there. What do you think? If you like it, I'll put an RR up. If nobody's keen, I don't want to waste your time. And I'm just going to wait on that one. Still recovering from the FTSE blow. Okay, right. Well, there we are then. Enough trades. But there might be some other guys who missed a few trades this morning, etc. If you're in, you should be happy. Seem to be doing all right. That's really got out today. Okay. I want to see if anyone else out there. Maybe make it a little bit higher. Make it 14560. And then the T, this one here, a little bit below that. Maybe how's that? You give me a it's moving out as we speak. It's not going to work that one. It's not working. Oh shit! Don't want to force it. You know what I mean?
Okay, Roger, leave it. Let's see the R&R by 5:30 or 5:15.
Okay, fair enough. I'm trying to make it, try to get it there without cheating, basically. I want to keep below these guys. Pushing up a fur around about there, but that should do it. Okay, so nobody wants to take this for the moment. Okay, let's sort of Nico say. I tell you about the time frames you guys put out. I'm all used to scalping the short term range. I've got my first teaching signal today. Looks like it's going to be more longer term. Yeah, they are. Nico, scalping all that for people who regulars a trading room, have traded before, sorry, to Etienne, beg your pardon, traded before, more experience. As a heck of a lot of guys, I'll be honest, I'm not that experienced, and that's putting it mildly. We offer the classes, the platform training, trading room, etc. But a lot of them just don't bother. I don't know what they expect, but they just don't bother. So if you put in scalping that, they're confused. They just go blindly, and they sometimes don't know how to modify stop loss and that sort of thing. So we instead of doing that, we put in slightly longer term. But having said that, you can always do shorter term. It's entirely up to you if you've got that experience. But yeah, we've got to cater for a large number of people who are really exceptionally unknowledgeable on certain aspects, and we don't want them to, get caught out in something because it's just couldn't understand it. So we do that, and yeah. And quite frankly, scalping's fine. You can do range trading, that's okay. But most of them, a lot of people, fair enough, are just too busy to do that. They've got jobs to hold down. They can't be staring it all the time. They haven't got the time to put into it. So that with a slightly longer term seems to work on the basis of that. Occasionally on the VIP group, remember the $2.5 grand or more in your account, or $150 or more than $1 account, will get the odd extra signal, and those guys might get sometimes the more aggressive trade. What I mean more aggressive is just tighter stop loss, tighter TP, maybe 80, 90 pip TP, maybe 40, 50 pips, something like that. Stop loss, round about those. But yeah, that's the basic answer to that one. That makes sense. Okay, we've got to cater for that, yeah, because otherwise the switchboard gets jammed with people coming on what's going on. You can't tell them, well, because you haven't bothered to do anything, you made a cock up, mate, which is 90% of the occasion of what's actually happened. And as I say, if you want to become a doctor or a dentist or a lawyer, or engineer or whatever, and you don't go to the classes, you can't blame the classes, you know what I mean? And unfortunately, that's the way it is. So, yeah. Okay, so if you want to wait till 1/2 or 5 o'clock or something like that, we can certainly do that. But keep that strongly on it. I do see some upside on that one. If you want to, keep an eye on it. If you want to go in now, let me know, but I'll knock it off because no one's too keen. So I'll leave it as that. Okay. If you want it, come back to it. Not a problem. Just want to look at Euro. I've got the Euro JPY. Euro NZD. Possibility of a buy earlier on this morning. Just see ins coming out of that. Yeah, I was waiting for that to come back, which seems to have happened. It's the 4 hour. The daily, it's come back and it's danced up a little bit. Just look at the weekly here. The weekly heads right on the 200-week moving average. So go back to the daily. Seems to pop through here, come back and test it. The 4 o'clock show, so 4 o'clock show. So a 4 hour candle is starting to look okay, not too bad. 1 hour, not too bad either. So maybe, sorry, 4 hour, look at the 4 hour again. This seems to be holding, which is only how far away? 20 pips away, so that's not good enough. So maybe we can look at a possibility if we can get it round about here, a bounce round about the 170 round figure, or just below that. If it comes back there and bounces again, I think you can grab it. If we grab it from there to there, 60 won't cut it, so you've got to take it to about here. If you want to scalp it to there, feel free to do that. If you know what that's about, obviously that's your choice. I'm here to advise. You can do what you like. You can do anything, you know what I mean? As long as you've got the funds in your account and you know. But maybe you have to take it up here somewhere to get a risk reward. But somewhere around there, that I think might be an opportunity for us. Okay. Yeah, look at the GBP CADs are selling and it's coming out worthwhile on that one. Just a quick check on it. What's it for? Not much. That indecision. The daily, not much follow through. It's not grabbing. It's not blowing the hair back. Not exciting. So yeah, I think CHF, JPY, the euro gets it in New Zealand dollar. Got some possibilities. Maybe come revisit them in about 20 minutes, half an hour time or so. If you're happy with that, just remind me. Okay. If you're all good with that and agree, and if you see something yourself, if you want me to look at something, of course, if you're in something and you want to see what's happening or why or wherefore, I can give some sort of idea on it for you. Okay. Hope all good with that. Remember, it is not a trading, it's a trading. You can go through strategies, etc. But mainly we're looking for trades in here. And that's from people who've done a bit of the classes, got some idea, now want to put it into practice, not spend years on theory. What I do try and make a habit of, I think most of you've got it already, but I'm going to do it anyway, is copy and paste the economic calendar for you. You can add to it if you don't like what's on there or take some off or whatever, but keep that handy, very important. And I'm also going to post for you the dollar index. That's also very important. And I might actually do the 10-year note, getting more experience now. The 10-year note is the bond. It's another name for a bond, basically. And we're not interested in the bond, we're interested in the yields on that bond. And I'll just copy and paste that for you guys as well, if you want to keep that. I've got a quiet moment for trades, so just quickly explain them again. The guys are not so sure. When the yields go up on the bond, that is negative for the gold, negative for shares and the indices, and a positive for the dollar. Hope you got it that right way around. So the gold and the indices, shares, etc., are inversely proportional to the movement north of the yields on the note. Okay, the US Treasury 10-year note is the most traded note in the world, and a lot of people follow it, so that's not given to you there. The DXY, or the dollar index, made up of 6 currencies, the 4 majors, and the 5th is the Canadian and the Swedish krona. Those 6 make it up. The biggest weighted in those 6 is the euro. I think it's about just over 50%. So it's heavily weighted in favor of the euro. Just bear that in mind. But anyway, have it there. Keep an eye on it. Again, if the dollar index goes up, clear the strength of the dollar. Again, negative for gold and indices. Okay, hope we've got that. Right. I'm going to as well post my number on here. But before you contact me, I just want to explain certain trading support requirements. Remember, it's a WhatsApp. If it needs more voice message, needs more than that, I'll call you. 61, it's recorded, that's the main thing. Okay, now, please don't contact me if you're on a demo account or anything like that. I don't advise on demos, that's just for you to play around to give you confidence on operating the platform. Okay, the other aspect is below 500, I can offer you no value. You're incredibly undercapitalized, and I'm not a miracle worker. And just time consuming trying to offer value to such an undercapitalized business. So it's got to be over 500. In my opinion, that's undercapitalized as well. But anyway, 500 is what it is. If you do that, you're going to get mailbox. However, if you've got 150 US or 2.5 grand or more, and you're not on my list or whatever, just WhatsApp me, and then with your full names and real account number, check it out, and then I'll add you to my WhatsApp group, and then you'll get more signals. Simply because you've got more money, you'll get more signals. Okay. So your JPY, for instance, was not sent to everybody. It's just sent, supposed to be sent, the office sends it to the VIP group, we call it. Now, those signals come from me. They have to, because I'm qualified to do that, but I don't post them to you. It's posted by the office. And I've had a bit of feedback from a couple of people today saying they're a bit tardy, and they're getting the banner out pretty quick for the actual signal. So if you see the banner, which I will then post on my group, and you see it, and a couple of minutes later, 5 minutes later, you're still not received the signal itself for that banner, just send me a quick WhatsApp and I'll copy and paste it for you. Okay, we'd be onto it from that point of view. So there, I can advise, I can assist on trading matters. If somebody at Stock Market College, it's nothing to do with me. Okay, that's a completely separate company. If you come my way, I've got a problem with you. I'll just hopefully point you or try and point you in the right direction. Okay, and remember, if it's an accounts problem or something technical or something like that, you need to go to the live chat and go to obviously the relative department or the correct department to sort the problem out. If it's a trading query, it's pointless going to your account manager or your technical or whatever like that, because they'll just pass it back to me. They have to. So it's rather easy just to go direct on the WhatsApp. And I have my WhatsApp on my computer in front of me as well as my phone, and it's there and it makes a clicking sound. You probably heard it just now. So it attracts my attention. So I'm on it quicker. Trying to get hold of me, and I'm in the trading room, I'm not on the live chat, those sort of things. So it's just easier that way. Well, yes, it depends. I mean, you know, let's say we're going to buy the pound cash, send it by. I don't really matter. Let's say we're going to buy it, for argument's sake. If it at 163 on the dot, if it's 162 or 90 or something, clearly you'll put a buy stop in. You would go for the trade because you'd go in at market because you get a better price. If I'm selling my house for $1 million and I change my mind, sell for 950, and say, oh no, I'm going to give you $1 million. You're not going to do that, are you? Obviously not. You're going to buy at 950, get a better price. Same principle. Now, the big question is, it's slightly above or below. If you're going short, obviously below. In other words, has the chip sold or not? You just got to look and do the math. If the TP is, let's say, 150 pips away, or maybe 200 pips away, and the stop loss 100 pips away, maybe 5 or 10 pips is not a problem. Probably 10 pips is not a problem in the wrong direction. So it's 163.10. You'll probably chase it. 163.20, the ship has sailed. Go do the maths on it. Quickly do a calculator, get the calculator, do the maths. If the risk reward is worse than 1.5, the ship has sailed. Or let's say the stop is 50 away and the TP is, let's say, 80, 90 away. 10 pips is a bigger percentage. So you might say 5 pips, 6 pips, but 10, the ship has sailed. You've got to use that sort of arithmetical common sense. And I don't know, some people not seem to be getting this. Don't quite know why. They don't, maybe think it's more difficult than it actually is. But it's not. It's just a bit of common sense. Is it worth it? You just get the calculator out. It's there, get it. If you haven't got it, go to the tech support and get it on the live chat and just do the figures. And if it's still acceptable, go for it. If it's not, well, you can put a buy or sell limit in to get the better price. That's as simple as that. Okay. And for goodness sake, get the volumes right. We put in 0.01 X, 0.02 X rand or whatever it is. And so you got 10 grand in your account and it's 50 rand the risk per micro on the gold and 250 risk on the, I don't know, something else. You can go 0.01 on both. It's crazy. You know, you do a bigger one on the gold because it's only 50 per micro. 250, you might only go 1. You get it. And that's not really sure what the complication is, but you'd be astounded how many people seem to find that complicated. I don't know, maybe looking for something that's more complicated. Come on, it's that basic actually. It's basically the first thing you start when you go to school. Okay, so that's simple as that. And of course, then you got now to post the order. The guy comes up to me and he says, "Help me place the trade." Well, have you got the trade in front of you? What do you mean by that? So I don't know how to do it. Then I say, go to platform trading. I don't teach the platform and I can't place it for you. So it's up to the person there to go to platform trading and I'll operate it. Remember as well, this is a separate company. So MT5 is an international company. Quick Trade's a broker, like a lot of other brokers. We use MT5, the Stock Market College. They're purely there to sell the education. Hope that's all. Yeah, I think it's straightforward. Maybe I'm doing a long time. I don't know. I know a lot of people find it. Maybe because they're new to it. That's a story on that. Yeah. But if any doubts, you got my number. Just give me a quick WhatsApp. And yeah, if it's more involved, I'll do a voice message. If it's less involved, I'll just quickly put out a text. If it's seriously involved, I might call. Friendly. So just so you all know that. So, you know, say, no, I like my account manager, John Smith. Well, you like him all you like, but he can't advise, not allowed to. He'll help you with opening up accounts and all the admin. He's a great guy. I want a great lady, Mary Smith, or happens to be, you know what I mean? It doesn't really matter. But they're there. We work together. But I have a separate job for that particular job there. Okay. So trading advice, something like that, come to me. You know, choice no matter. So, sorry about that. You got much choice. You have to. But anything else, you go to the relevant department. If you're not sure, come to me and I'll put in the right direction. Straightforward, hey? Nothing more complicated than that. Hi there, Pietro. Just a reminder here, it's a bit quiet at the moment, wait for 4:30. Opening next Friday the 3rd, not this tomorrow, that is. When's the 3rd? Next Friday? Yes, it is. Friday the 3rd is non-farm payrolls, and we'll be doing we don't do Friday Zooms in the afternoon, only in the morning, but that will make an exception. And going forward, any CPIs coming out of the States and non-farm payrolls, we'll do an afternoon session. It's normally 3 till 4, but I'm pushing to start slightly earlier because stragglers come in. Then I've got to explain the mechanics of the straddle trade to them, and they don't always get it first time. So got to make sure they get it right. And if you rush it, there'll be a mistake, and I get myself addled because another guy asking me this, and it's coming up to the time, and then I get addled, to be honest. So we want to get relaxed and get the mechanics right. So just before the 1/2 then we can place the straddle trade and hopefully make a quick buck out of it. Okay, but it's vital that people understand why, where, and what. If they're not grasped the concept, listen and learn and maybe do it the next time. Okay, so just for your interest then, Nico and Peter. Trust me, Nico, even trade before question you made there means you do some easy enough for you to get it. But you guys, a bit of fear involved. So hope that's all straightforward. Thanks, Nico. And hi there, Pietro. Yeah. The major thing is because it's new, you perceive it's complicated. It isn't. It seems like it's new. Like I don't know, a neurosurgeon will find driving the car complicated if he's never seen a car before. Same sort of principle. Well, if you know the S&P, then that's fine. To get the mechanics, and don't do what some guy did with Pam. Put them all his guys into a trade. I think he sold the ball. I can't which way. It wasn't a straddle trade. Overexposed the guys on ideas and advised them. I don't know what he did anyway. But the thing went the wrong way and it took a massive smack. You do not trade it by buying or selling it. You do a straddle trade. But more of that when we get close to the time, for those who don't know. Lorenzo's back. Good stuff. Guy from the past who used to be a regular here. Let's have him back. The only thing can stuff the straddle trade up is exactly as expected. And just say the euro is exactly expected down the CPI, and the CPI in the US the last time we did the straddle trade exactly the same. Some guys still made some bucks out of it, but it seems to confuse the market. It sounds a bit sort of ironic that it's actually as you expected, you get confused. I suppose you're so used to the unexpected. It actually comes as you expect it, and they all seem to go in disarray. So, but normally it is a difference, and you can profit from it.
Hi, Roger. Sorry, I joined late. Did you discuss the GDP of USA?
Gee, no, I didn't. GBP USD, is that what you're saying?
No. The gross domestic.
Oh, USA. Oh, sorry. Yeah, yes. You mean the funding? Yeah. I mentioned it quickly. It was purchase composite index, or it's called purchasing composite index. Anyway, whatever. And it came in at 0.4, expected 0.3, slightly, and then I'm looking the right one. I'm talking rubbish. I'm looking tomorrow. So sorry about that. Yeah, the core PCE still haven't done it. Change over. Come on. Oh, that's better. Yeah, sorry. GDP came out at 2.2. Sorry, 2.7 compared to 2.9. Slightly less, but the initial jobless claims came out slightly less than expected, but only about 8,000 in it. So it didn't have. And I'll show you again the euro dollar as I'm on that. Put it back to the 15 minute. I think. What's it now? Right about there. See, again, he didn't do much. Jumped up and down a little bit and then settled down. So once they found it wasn't that important after jumping around, so yeah, still not a big deal. The euro came out exactly at 12 o'clock on the CPI as expected. So that had a little bit of a sort of nervous jump around. He gave up and went back to normal. So yeah, so they're out the way now. Okay.
Okay, thank you, sir.
No problem. As it's my first time attending one of these, is there a designated time for picking your brain regarding holiday? That's what we do here. That's exactly what the purpose of this. So there's no designated time. It's between 4 and 5:30 is a designated time to pick all of our brains, never mind just mine. So yeah, if you've got a trade idea, that's what comes first. If I'm waffling on about what's coming up in the rugby, the cricket, or I don't know, whatever I'm doing, and you want to look at the euro dollar or the GB CAD or whatever you want to look at, that takes precedence. Then if we've got a few moments, I'll post on the economic fundamentals to you guys, go through a couple of stuff I repeat every time. The regulars probably a bit sick of hearing about it, but just to make sure we're on the same page, etc., etc. But that comes first. Good over the NAS before I look at that chat line. Hang on a second. Just see that around for a few minutes. Right. Hi, Roger. I'm new to trading. I saw this below from one of the guys in the morning session today. Please go through it, and when you have a minute, Roger, you often explain the setup that you use to identify a trade, leaves some formal trade helps with the decision of taking the lead in a trail, just to find the best entry. One most likely be successful. Okay. All right. No, fine. Yeah, Brian, we do that. Just takes a bit of practice. I've set these charts up. I used to have all sorts of indicators on. I've been trading for a while. And in the end, probably as little as 3-4 years ago, actually, I settled on keeping it simple, stupid like this. And that's how I set them up. And I'm stuck to it, like this. And through a bit of, when I go in, I look at it. If it looks like a trade, I want to quickly check through. I might go through quickly, get the trade out. And then if you're in it, great. And then you don't want to miss the trade by too much explanation. And then if you're not quite with me at that speed, I can go back then going item by item what I look for. Now, first thing, wow, it's a bit too much. Well, of course it is new skill. It's going to be new to you. But with practice, you'll suddenly find, like driving the car, it'll become basically like changing a gear. You know, I'll give you a quick example. Let's look at one. Look at anything. Look at let's enter the DCH here. What the hell? I can look at that, I'll crunch it a bit, make sure always I'm on the day. I can do the 4 hour, but I usually do the dailies. I'll look at it's below those moving averages, these major moving averages. So I look to reach the sell zone. I already know the Swiss franc's quite strong and it's stronger than most of the other currencies. So I prefer to be selling and buying the Swiss franc. In this case, the New Zealand dollar. So that's already in my head. I look, where is it here? Here, where it is. That's confirmed. I see it's broken down here. Okay. And it's gone up and tested. So it's broken through that support area here. Or actually, in this case, you're going short, that'd be resistant. I can see along the line there, clearly, obviously, that's a resistance. It's broken through and gone down. Now it's coming up and testing it. Do I see any sellers come in? Well, let's have a look. Go to 15-minute one. Yes, I do. Maybe slightly longer term. Not so much, but a few sellers are coming. It seems to be holding. But so am I seeing an area where it can possibly sell short? I'll say to myself, let's have a look at the weekly. I'm going through quickly now to give an idea what you can see. It doesn't take long. Yeah, it's adding up to possible downside. So what is my only little worry is it went down and not a lot of follow through. I look at the candle. It's only 35 minutes old. And soon it came down, not a lot of follow through before the buyers come in. So to me, over the last 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 hours, it's attacking that again. It's not getting so much follow to the downside. So that would be maybe one area where I hesitate to go short. I'm looking to short. I do like the possibility, but my problem is it's attacking it, so I'm not as confident I'd like to be. And then I start looking, if I am confident, what have we got? 38 pips, I'm going to carry it. Don't like taking the bottom of a wick, to be honest, because but it does coincide there, but it's not massive TP there of strength is what I'm talking about. And I look at the distance, only 60 pips. So if I'm going to take this, I've got to aim down here somewhere to make it worthwhile. Then we're looking at about 88, even that I prefer, well, scalper might say that's good enough. But even then, now I'm like it less and less. You hear where I'm going with this? Less and less. But it's got to get a decent TP, it's got to get to 2 or 3 what do you call it, hurdles before getting there. And it's not getting a lot of follow through. So I would, therefore, that goes to me a lot quicker than I'm saying. I'm spending it out now. Even if you think it's quick, me and go from practice goes to me almost immediately. So I started thinking, well, guys, I like it. But let's see if we can get a better price. I don't want to buy it. I want to maybe rally for a better price. Then I can put the stop up here somewhere, even up here. And if it's up there, I can then take it down here and see if I get a risk reward. That's the sort of thing I go through. And if we're going to trade, I might go a little bit slower. I'm just using it arbitrarily to show, just for the hell of it, see how I go through it. Takes a bit of practice, but it'll come. And believe me, it's not like getting a degree or being a doctor. Trust me. Sure, of course. And then we'll look at the shares because they're just open now. EuroCAD. You hopped into a long. Let's say go out the daily, just check it's not on the. I've done some phenomenally brilliant analysis, and it's been a 15-minute chart. It's been completely useless. But you know what I'm saying? I'm making a bit of a joke of it. Make sure you're on the right check. Okay. You're on long, yeah, bottom of the range. We're talking about that yesterday, actually, range trading, Anna Marie, Fani, Mark, and Maris, etc. It's in the neutral zone. It's between all these, so you can buy or sell it. If it's above, I prefer to buy it. Below, I like to sell the rally, buy the retracement. Yeah, do either. Euro at the moment, slightly stronger than the CAD for whatever reason. I'm quite sure, actually, it seems to be. So it is, take it up there, maybe. How far are you looking at? It's 100 pips. Wait, always check it. Doesn't look much, does it, on here? But that's 100 pips. It's about 40 on there. Stop down there. Yeah, it's okay. I'm not over the moon on it, guys. But it's come back. It's tested the support. The buyers are coming in. So yeah, and it's not a bad one. So I would say that's not a bad at all. It's okay. So yeah, we'll come to that in a minute, okay? So Nico, yeah, not a bad one. Yeah, I'd be quite like it. Let's just check the 4 hour. See any problems now. Little bit of a problem here. as you can see. It's the tight range there. It's only 25 pips. So that's a little bit of a problem. But if you're happy taking 25 pips it out, fair enough. Better than kicking the shit, eh? But that's a little bit of a worry. What about the hour? And yeah, you see what I mean? Let's come back again. So I still like the long, but my main worry is to get up to, let's say, a decent TP up here somewhere. It's got to go through this hurdle, a little bit of a hurdle. That's a 10-day, by the way. Bit of a hurdle there before it reaches that. So a few problems getting there, and it doesn't exactly shoot the lights out. You see what I mean? You look at the of course you look at the candles there. Can I ask you questions at the same time? Coming down and then it's going up. We're not getting the follow through. It only went up. It's an hour chart, 4 hour, not a 1 hour, a 4 hour chart, and it just popped up 25 pips. It's a 4 hour chart, remember? And if you go to the NAS, that's actually diddly squat, you know. And then before no follow through comes back. So I'm not against it. I just don't like the lack of follow through that's occurring. So it's not something I'd send out to the group out there from the non-trading room guys, from where we're putting it. But for guys as scalpers, traded before, he's not worried he gets 18, 90, he'll happy with 20, 25, 30, something like that. They can look at it. But it's not one I'd recommend as a trading idea because of that lack of follow through. That's the sort of way I would look at it anyway. And I think I answered your question there, but I want to make sure I read it properly. Look at that before putting one daily from the positive direction on the previous way explained just now. Yeah. Fiona, good ask Farney on that. Speak to Farney on NGAS. Okay, yeah. And if he's rude to you, don't blame me. We'll come back to that in a minute. Sorry, it's an in-joke. NGAS is a bit of a dirty word, actually. Yeah, where were we? So, yeah, so you look at the previous candle, get an idea from that. What is the candle telling you? It's telling you what the buy and sellers are doing. You put all the fancy indicators you like, but they're all lacking. They're all telling you what's happened in the past. The more you want to know what the buy and sellers are doing. You know what I mean? I don't care if you think the film is complete rubbish. If you think the beer is terrible, if people are buying it, the price will go up. It might be the best beer in the world or the greatest films ever made. But if people are not going to see it, sell the thing short. You get the idea. You follow what the majority of buyers do because that's what moves the price. That's why you talk about short covering, or in other words, you sold short and the guy's got TPs there being triggered, or they're manually exiting a short, you've got to buy. So you get a bit of momentum upwards on that anyway. So yeah, it's just what the buyers and sellers are doing. That's why I'm looking at the candle. I don't care what fancy names, also these names, most of them, to be honest. If you forget them, you just go to an app in the app store and they give you the fancy names for them. I don't remember. All I'm saying is who's in control there, unless you're blind as a bat. Clearly and utterly obviously the sellers are. Who's in control here, unless you're blind as a bat? The buyers are. Who's in control here? Nobody is. So you're wasting your time. So just tell you what the buyers and sellers are doing. Hope that's clear enough. Now, sorry, finally, if Mark's anybody's there, please hide your eyes. We're going to this one. We don't want to get like, do you remember Medusa the Gorgons who want to turn you into stone? Do you remember your Greek mythology? Where's NGAS now? I think I've taken it off. Yeah, I think I've taken it off because I don't like it. I'll put it back on just for you, Fiona, because you're such a nice lady. It's given us a lot of jip, this damn thing. So I'm not keen. We wanted to, oh, look, it's bouncing a bit now. Hallelujah. Eh? We've been wanting to buy this here. Here, and ANK. And there's no one. NK is another one. If you want somebody to throw custard pies at you, ask Mark or NK or myself. No, I'm too polite. or finding like that, but gas. I think you'll get a virtual sort of custard pie hurled at you. That's a bit of a no-no. Leave the damn thing alone. No action, no movement. Every time I try to move up, it comes off. Do you want to chase it down? Well, it might get to zero, but I can't see that happening. So it's got to find a bottom somewhere, and it probably languish there and get forgotten about. Remember, what moves it is buyers and sellers. And if you haven't got the volumes of traders, because they're so sick to death of it, not buying or selling, it languishes. Okay. So yeah. I took off yesterday, NK, yeah. So I think, yeah. I've been doing up and down, fast asleep in a coma of the GBP CHF for a while. If you want to do that, Fiona, be off your own back. I can't really offer any decent advice on that. Okay, GBP's been giving us jip for the last 2 or 3 days. Really have been surprising me. To me, that's an excellent trade. I mean, it's in the short zone. It's a stronger in the pound, the currency clearly. It's held every time, and every time it comes off, it pops up. But then hopefully it's going to give up soon and come off and come right. Stick with it. Just exercise a bit of patience. And if you've got enough money, you'll diversify and then get money in other areas and let that run and keep it on other stuff. Okay. Now we've got some trades out on the don't think anyone's still in or in them still or whatever. I'm not sure, so look at them. Baba's in profit. I think it's popped up a bit, but let's just look to get a clearer picture. Popped up a bit. What's the NAS doing? Okay, the NAS is coming off a bit, so yeah, popped up. Looks like it might come off a bit. So yeah, you're in a profit on that one. You know, you can always modify your stop to protect if you want. What else we got out? Let's see if I can find it. A couple of days old. This. Yeah, paper. So we've got them all written down for you guys. Just give me a moment. Sorry, just give me a second. Where are they? Yeah, Baba 102.80. Okay, 102.80. So that's clearly $5.5 per share in profit coming off. I think you can put your stop into entry now, and then you take the risk from the trade and see if you can get some decent juice. I'm still very bearish on world markets. Okay. Yeah, leave it alone, Pietro. Leave it alone. It's just slow. It's boring. Let's go back to it. Sure, I mean. It's in a range of about that, about 40 pip range. So let it run. You got your stop, you got your strategy. Just giving in fed up, it's not good enough. Let it run. Get stopped out, you got your volumes right, so be it. Let it run. We might still come right. Twice we had the US dollar Japanese yen to trade idea, and it came literally 3 pips on both occasions from the stop. And then it turned out, entered, and it went up, and it hit the TP again on both occasions. Mark just joined. You can ask about that. He was a happy chappy from that. Okay, so stick with it. Bit of patience, like I just mentioned. So Baba, you put a set the entry, modify your entry. Where's Meta now? 172.25. That's good news coming out on Meta. So Meta, as a result of that fundamental bit of good news, didn't react as negatively as hoped. But even the good news coming out, it's only a few cents, not even a dollar. It's only about 70, 80 cents above the entry anyway. So I think that news is going to run out and might come off. So let that run. Microsoft got 264.15. That at the moment is about $9 per share in profit. What a pleasure. We've been in there since the 16th, 23rd. Yeah, been there a week. You need to give it time, you know. Shares often take longer, you know, but never mind, it's making money. So clearly, most guys are either taking profit or if it's still already modified the stock. If you're in it still and you haven't modified your stock, suggest you do. Not too close. Last thing you want to get stopped out and jumping around noise, and it goes on, hits your TP, you're not on board. Keep a bit of distance, you can modify. Protect yourself, Microsoft. We mentioned Baba, and the other one was Hewlett Packard. We got in at Hewlett Packard at 33rd, I think it was. Just give me a moment to make sure. Yeah, it was 30.30. AG. So it's popped up a little bit, but still, it's only a $30 share. So the dollar is a big movement on this. I mean, the dollar is nothing on maybe Microsoft, but it's a big deal on this because it's, you know, like 12% of the price. Bear that in mind. So it's like $1 there. It's like $12 HBQ. You get the the other way around. $1 HBQ is about $12 Microsoft if you compare the different price section. You got to have it. I'm surprised it took so long, Wendy. You got to have it. Glad you have. Do not trade without knowing volumes. And if you need the calculator, but practically probably do it in your head. But never mind. Rather have it there to make absolutely sure. Not easy. It's free. It's there to help you. Use it. We have the technology, Houston. Use it. Okay. Yeah. HBQ. So that's down just under $1. and it's I still see more downside. So I think some guys have a habit of taking the profit too quick. I don't quite know why, but to rather let it run, and I think it's a good chance that could get to the TP, which is at 26.70. So let that run. The NAS is again coming on, it's popped up again. I mean, that's the NAS for you, but let it run, and you can put it 30-30 if you like to protect, take the risk out. That's up to you, but let it run. Okay, we're so frightened it gets taken away. We take our profits too early at times, rather than modify stop loss, protect, and grab it too quickly out of nerves, unless it's a bit of a turnaround. I get that. But the trouble is then we're too scared of the loss. So it's getting your T, pitch your SL, and what you do, you move your SL, but you don't get stopped out, and then suddenly you risk 500, now you're 700, 800, 900, and it's not pretty. Yeah, it's the biggest thing we do. We run our losses and we get out of our profits. Back to front. Okay.
Roger.
Yeah.
Sorry, Microsoft Baba, he did my raise stop loss. Can we re-enter?
Okay, so you're out of those. Just want to clarify. You probably put your stop too close in. Oh, well, never mind. I tell you made a profit. That's the first question. Did you make a profit?
I made a profit, but my problem is again, stop loss was too close. I was afraid of this GDP announcement, and that I've changed it last night, and that caused me now problems.
Okay, well, that's it. The decision might have been wrong or right in hindsight. Easy after the fact, not a problem. Okay, right. Okay, I wouldn't chase HPQ now. You'll get a decent risk to reward. I definitely wouldn't chase Microsoft now. No decent risk to reward. Meta, you can look at, yeah. Baba, again, no, that ship's definitely sailed. All three of ships are sailed on that one. Might look for another one if you want. Now the markets are open. Don't forget, guys, the open up and store the shares. Don't try and modify anything before that. You can't. Go wait till it opens. And do not use this calculator on shares. Get it quite right. Live chat, technical support, get it downloaded. Okay, but only on the non-shares. For everything else but shares, then you go to your get your Excel up there. Okay, right. Meta, yeah, that was the only one I can see possible downside. Gap closes quite a nice way away, which is a good chance of getting there. $20, that's fine. Where can you put the stop? It's too far away, so we can put it down here. Yeah, maybe the stop round about those levels there. Yeah, I don't have a problem with that. Do you want me to work it out for you and post it? And you can look if you're not anything you want to take. Give me a second. I'll write it down here. But no, I've got a better idea. Use what we did before. Where is it now? Use exactly the same figures. It's more or less where it was in the original one. So if you want it, tell me if you want it or not. Meta, don't forget the dot, sell around, well, around market if you like. What have I got down here? Got the original one, 172.25. Same thing, it's back, no, it's 173. It's going to be a better one. Make it 173.25. SL we had before was 183. So we'll do the same SL, 183.25. And we'll definitely use the same TP, which is where is it now? 111.53. Got that? So risk will be slightly more than I'm putting out. So try and work it out for you. 73 is $10. So it's $10 a share, which is about R1.80 for 180 Rand a share. And there's going to be a couple of costs. So work on around $200 a share. It's a little bit over the top, probably close to about 190 a share with costs. The costs aren't that high. So just round it out, that's 200 Rand a share. So it's 11 or 200 Rand per share, depending what currency you're using. Okay, so there you are. Don't forget, guys, you can do a fractional, but remember, fractional, don't go too small. This is not Forex. Remember I mentioned before, do it quickly again, you're perusing that. You right click on the right click there, specifications, left click, contract value 100,000. That's right. You go to Google, contract value, all the shares the same, is 1. So if you put in 0.01, it's a complete waste of time. So if you can afford, let's say, make it 200 Rand, you go 1.0. If you can afford, I don't know, 100 Rand, you go 0.5. If you can afford 300 Rand, 1.5. Please believe it's basically 10-year-old simple as that. It's no more complicated than that. So then you can work out the correct volumes. I know it's habits, and before you press the buy, or in this case, sell button, make sure you got your volumes right. Not the same as Forex. One in Forex is huge. It's tiny in shares. Remember that. Okay. Hope we're all in the same understanding of that, because it's a continual buying. There's basic understanding arithmetic. I mean, they can tell you all sorts of fantastic facts. When it comes to basic arithmetic, it seems to be a blind spot, and it's coming back and biting. So we've got to get this solved. Okay. All good on that? Remember, go to your LMS and the position size calculator is there for shares or an Excel spreadsheet. Someone had a copy and paste on here. If they got one, copy and paste. It's free anyway for everyone. So any of you guys are like Mark there's a clever sod, he's an IT guy. You know, I've tried to copy and paste, no, I don't like balls of it, to be honest. So if you can copy and paste the Excel spreadsheet, some of the guys there, they can save it and use that for shares. Don't forget, don't call me up and say, my MT5 is not working on Google and it's 12 o'clock in the afternoon. Well, it won't, because it's closed till 4:30. Okay. I can't modify my stock. Well, you won't, it's closed. Weekend, everything is closed. Right, okay, yeah, so there you are. I post it there, guys. Do you want to re-enter again, Fanny? And anybody else?
I did. Thank you, Roger.
Okay, anybody else want to join him to go in again? I've got it written down anyway, so I'm going to write it down again. But if you missed it last time, for whatever reason, you can go in now. The others, don't think about it. Ship has definitely sailed. You're still in the others we mentioned. Hold on. You're in a nice profit. Why get off the ship? You know, if you go to the Bahamas, why get off, you know, before you get there? That's fine, Pete. At least you're still in. And you should be doing all right. Pietro, you should be doing fine. Adrian has said, and I'm losing money. Why are you losing money? I find I got some different price. Okay, whatever. Read the signal and think on it. Okay. Yes, you can. $87 is not big, but it's not minute. This guy's trying to trade with that 87 Rand, getting the problems. You don't be rude to them, but they're completely actually wasting their time. It's like going shopping in the supermarket with 10 Rand in your pocket. It's something to do. Well, I think it's already been priced in, Mark. I mentioned that earlier on. I think it's been priced in. That was released a couple of days ago, so we all know about it. So it depends how successful it's going forward. But remember, people are momentum minded. And if the momentum's coming off from the NAVs and the shares, etc., it has to take some dramatically great news to go against that momentum. Okay, so that point of view, I'm still okay with it. Right, yes, you can. On their $87 preferred ranks, I'm more used to it. They talk about 1,400 Rand, something like that. 1,400 Rand, you can risk about that. Yeah, you can go for maybe 0.7. One might be slightly over the top, because then you're risking 200, which is going to be, you know, a little bit over the top for your amount there, one dealing. So if you want to do it, 100 on the 1,400, yeah, maybe you can do from 0.5 or 0.6, 0.7, something like that. Okay, so you can do it, in other words. But they took the trouble. So he didn't let his trouble to us, and I can help. He didn't go blindly in because he's frightened to us. Fantastic. Right, very good question, Nico. You see what he said there? I wanted. Okay, fine. I'm here. You're a good lad. He gave me a nice little report, which the head office told me about. So you're my favorite at the moment. My favorite. The other guys are good as well. You know what I mean? So no problem, sir. Okay, now Nico, I want to read this out. Would you recommend riding your signals to take profit rather than taking profit on the way to the target without to the trader? Well, yes, obviously up to the trader. The problem is what's happening. I've said this before. So if you're bored, I'm sorry, put up with it. You're gonna have to say it again because you guys are coming in. The problem is today is the cell phone. Now, this cell phone here is, to me, probably a better invention than the bloody wheel. It's incredible what this thing can do in your hand. So it's fantastic. It's changed the world unbelievably. Where the problem is with it is we're emotional creatures, and the big tech guys and those guys out there have got a ready-made market of about 2 billion, literally twice as many people have smartphones now, the entire population of the planet at the turn of the last century, 1900s in other words. You get it? So they are ripe to be played. The propaganda, I don't think the subtlety and the amount of spin and propaganda, I don't mean like it in history. So the problem is now, we're got at now, and immediately the touch of a button, for whatever particular narrative the tech guys are trying to push on you. You see my problem? So I would say as little as maybe 6, 7 years ago, 5, 6, 7 years ago, I would say about 80% is technical, 20% emotional fundamentals. It's all changed now. A couple of reasons, like I mentioned, the fundamentals coming more to play because everyone has easy access to them. Number two, since COVID, the retail market has jumped enormously. Unfortunately, the retail market strategy is more emotional fear than practical objective knowledge and strategy. And those two now are interfering with the follow through. So I'm turning around saying, yeah, we do a risk reward, we got a target, we have to have a target, but it's not set in stone. So I'm saying you're coming down here nicely. The TP is here with the cross areas, it's there, it's bouncing a bit. You got to make sure, I take it, you could do it, breaks are going again, or it's still hovering, it's not bouncing much, it'll get out. Maybe modify your stop from up here, wherever it is, will be up here somewhere, down to about there, just above these guys here, out of the way, and see if it breaks through. If it jumps back up, you're stopped out on a profit, goes through, you're on board, and then you can maybe modify down there and see it reach your TP. Now, this is where it is now. It's nearly at the TP. All right, you're busy guys and stuff to do. Well, that's why you have stops and TPs, because they're protecting you. You're away. You know what I'm saying? From your computer. But you're not away from your computer, fair enough. But let's say you're back in front of the computer, and here's your TP here, right on that line, for argument's sake. It's here, it's hovering, it's starting to bounce up. Well, you got in here, and it's here now. Are you going to wait to try and get another 50, 60 cents? Then you just probably exit the damn thing. I mean, and then you see it break through, and now you're fed up. So you can either move it right down here or just exit. There you make that choice. Okay, I found a lot of trades that people held on the stop onto the TP, got close, they didn't have enough knowledge, just let it run, and just turned around, stopped them out in the loss. Well, a lot of guys would have made a profit on that trade. Do you understand? And another thing, right? You've taken this, I don't know, whatever, make GBP USD, where we'll go back in the past here. It's going up nice, you're doing fine, etc., doing fine, and then suddenly, no, we'll do it up here, right? And then suddenly you didn't realize you hadn't saved your economic fundamentals, you hadn't checked it, and what you didn't realize was some news came out that very powerful, the dollar made it very strong, and you got in here, your stop loss was down here, and you hadn't modified, you hadn't checked your fundamental, bang, you come back to your screen and you're knocked out. So unfortunately, due, as I said, to the fact we've got so many people who are susceptible, shall we say, like Instagram, social media, as you go through it, say most of the stuff they make a fuss about, let's be horribly honest, it's pretty puerile, but we do that, you know. I guarantee if let's say King Charles was found in a naughty club with his trousers down, I reckon 2,000 people on the planet would be chatting about it, but not about $30 trillion trade gaps or things like that. It's meaningless to them, but which is more important? Obviously, you get the idea. So just be careful of that emotion moving around, modify, and don't jump out too quickly, but start reducing risk. So when you go in, you worked it out, you can afford to risk, let's say, 1,000 Rand. You can afford that. You've got an account that can handle that. You've got 30, 40 grand. You can handle per instance 1,000 Rand. Right. The worst scenario is if you get stopped out at the original stop loss. That's $1,000, but you can afford it. That's the worst scenario. And you've gone short here, right? And your stop's up here. As it's coming down here, you don't have to get the stop at entry. You can start reducing maybe down there. So remember, you've gone in there with a potential 2,000 profit, 100 grand risk. Now it's a potential 2 grand profit with 500 Rand risk. And so the story goes on. You've got to think a little bit on your feet. That's the idea. Well, that's your own. If you've been doing it, it's worked for you. I'm just tracking out ideas of what I do. You can sort of listen to somebody else, go to YouTube, somebody else, or pick up whatever comfortable. You know what I mean? I'm just checking out what I do. And you can sort of take this bit, formulate to what you're comfortable with, and away you go. I mean, what I've got on here, I've been training for quite a while. I had all sorts of MACDs and God knows what, tried them all, back test or whatever. And then I just said, right, do I need them all? Keep it simple, straight. In fact, this one here, the 100-day, I think it was you, NK. I think actually it was you. UNK has only been about a month or so. Suddenly mentioned it. And thought, no, this is a guy just started, actually. It's not a bad idea, so I bunged it on. I've had it now only about a month. So I didn't even have it. These are the two major ones I use, not because they're any better or worse, just they're so universally used. They're not internationally used. These two by far more than any of the others. So I have them on. The others is my choice. I like this one, so put it on, and I like this one, so put it on. But these are two big ones, 250, simple. And that's it. Right, that's it. Now it's like changing gear. I've been doing it every bloody day, so it's habit. But you know, it's not exactly bloody, you know, mathematical genius involved here. Well, it seems so complicated. It's because you've never done it before. It's all new. I would say, always bear in mind, when you first got in the car, you think, bloody hell, this is complicated. Now you can chat to the person behind you, sit illegally, chatting on the cell phone, and you didn't know you just changed 3 gears in the last couple of minutes. It's just habit. Gets there in the end. And you got to know, because that emotion's going on out there, when you get it wrong, some of you do make it balls. But with more experience, less and less. So when it goes wrong, it's usually some emotional thing that happened, which is beyond your control. So in other words, the trade idea or strategy is correct. Some emotion screwed it up, if that makes sense. Most of them go bananas, this emotion. That the GP one we had, was it yesterday? I think it was yesterday morning. Yes, it was, yeah. We had a PPI. It's not even as part of the CPI. PPI on the pound, not Germany, not America, not Europe. You get the idea, on solid pound. And it was slightly different, it wasn't major. And the thing shot up 200 pips. That is completely, that's just, you can ask Etienne, he's there. I mean, you would never have guessed that. And Etienne's a bit of experience here. Finds a bit of experience. You get the other guys, experience, Ken, you know. That's why you have to cater for with your stop loss. I mean, I'll be honest, I'm not shutting my mouth off here. But out of, let's say, 5 or 6 trades that I get wrong, I say probably about at least 70, 75% of the wrong ones is emotional go figure reactions. You know what I mean? You didn't know your wife's going to wake up the next morning with a bad mood. You ask her why, she doesn't know she's in a bad mood, or vice versa, husbands or whatever. That happens, that's just emotion, okay? Yeah, we'll try, Pete. What else going to say? Try. Yeah, I wish you guys would get some, what do you call it, patience on that, or discipline, or whatever the word is. Because to get it 12.7 and grab 50 pips, I mean, it's ridiculous. You should still be in it. I agree, put your stop at 12.5. I mean, you still got 200 pips built in, and yet on top of that, was it 550 pips in profit? It's still bearish, and see, it's still dollar strong, it still yields are high. And it's every time it pops up, it comes up again. It's the fear, it's purely emotional fear of loss that creates the reason why people lose. It's they're so frightened, they take profits too quickly and so scared of losing, they hold on, because they only realize that loss when they take it. They can't handle it mentally, so they hold on, hope it's going to come right. So in the end, they got to win about 5 or 6 trades to break even, because when they lose big. When they win small. Yes. And you can never control it, but you just got to practice on it, get good at it. Tough. And sometimes you're not going to even keep a wide stop, but bloody thing comes and knocks you out. Well, so be it. But this happens. But as I say, it's emotions now with the enormous retail trade since COVID and the immense amount of spin, because it's easy to get at people through the cell phone. We are getting a lot of anomalies which are based on more emotion than actually right. So I hope that sort of explains, Nico. It's a bit long-winded, but I want to make it very clear because it is so important. Wrong volumes, wrong emotions, I would say, it's nothing to do with intelligence or experience or what knowledge or what you studied. Those are 2 major problems why people get screwed. And that's not our fault. It's not the course's fault. It's not my fault. It's not the market's fault. It's our own emotional indiscipline. Hate to say it, or impatience or whatever. Hate to say it, my friend, guys. If it's a natural thing to do, 9% of the time it's the wrong bloody thing to do. It's the way it is. Okay, so anyone took the meta, that's fine. So it's going to come right. You're taking it, just quickly check it. Now it's trying to come, it's coming off. It should, in theory, come off. Despite what happened to the fundies, yeah, it's coming off. Good. See what I mean there, Mark? Some momentum on it. Even the news is just, remember, news comes out. I want to go through this again. I know most of you guys know, it's got a part moment. You're driving along in your car, your laptop's in the office or at home, you've got data on your phone, right? And you can put an order in. And you suddenly hear blaring out the news, big stop, breaking news, a bomb's gone off in the Persian Gulf. What do you think is going to happen to oil? Well, if a bomb's gone off and the biggest supplier of oil, crude oil in the world, is down there, you know what I mean? Clearly, supply and demand will force the price up. So what do? You pull over the side of the road, you stop the car, open up your phone to put in a buy order. You've missed it, mate. When you get that news, the big boys who have got it before you, they've already made that play and the price would have shot up. You'll automatically be chasing it. So it's a guide. Just remember that. It's momentum. So the momentum, going back to that, when that news about subscriptions came out yesterday or the day before, that's all discounted in the market now. The overall movement seems to be bearish, as I've been mentioning it, and so that's going with the momentum of the others. Now, look at the next one. Probably that's going up to just shut me up Murphy's Law, but let's have a look at the others. Bubba's come off a little bit, is it? Yeah, so that's, yeah, even Murphy's Law didn't kick me there. And Microsoft should be doing the same. You look, Packard, yeah, coming off a bit, as you can see, as a result. And the Microsoft, where's Microsoft? Coming off a little bit as well. You get the idea. What's happening? Gold, same thing. What about it? You're short. What's the problem? You're short gold. You should be happy. 80.32, the entry, 80.24. What's the problem? You're in profit. It's always going to move around. That's the noise. I'm not with you. Okay, Nico and other guys. Someone asked, why have we got this on here? Very recently. The only reason is some what you call it, brokers for gold of XAU USD. Like I mentioned this morning, donkey or thank you. It means exactly the same thing. If you prefer donkey, it's your own language, and that's to be recommended by that, do that one. If you prefer the word thank you, do gold or vice versa or whatever. It just, we're getting so many calls, it takes our time up, and we could be making calls to other people saying, I can't find XAU USD on your system. And I'm going to explain, no, it's gold, put gold in. So now they can put it on. So if you like the name there, use that. But it's completely exactly the same. It's, when I say no difference, I mean literally absolutely no difference. Not the properties, anything. Completely, absolutely the same. If you like that, do that one. If you like gold, it's irrelevant. Whatever makes it, whatever. Yeah, I know. I mean, because it's a new toy coming out. That might be it, Mark, to be honest. So yeah, just basically say, because I mean, a lot of things out there. You haven't got in your system. I want to trade it. Well, now you got it. I think Fiona, you still there, Fiona? Yes, you are. What you said this morning, I had to plead the fifth. So it's a complete waste of time or something like that. To laugh. Yeah, it did basically. It's just, again, it's all emotion. You know what I mean? I think a BM's better than Merc. I think a Merc's better than BM. You start coming to fight. Probably it's the same, really. Well, again, don't go there. It's emotion, but it's just, it's emotional. I don't really care what you do. Like the gold, do it. For the comfortable word gold, stick with it. For XAU, USD, do that. Doesn't make a difference. Not like W2I and Brent. They have different prices, even though they're both oil. This is no difference. That's 823.31. It'll move by the time we get. Look at gold. See, 823.31. There's no difference. I hope you're all clear on that. Pick one and you like it, go for it. The problem in the start, they're not used to it. So a couple of guys called up today. I want to do the XAU and I can't get on the platform. What do I do now? And by the time I answered it, the ship had sailed. It's a gold, same thing. By that time, the ship had sailed. Never ever underestimate how much emotion has an effect on the human mind. And that's all of us. Don't care who you are. Don't care if you come from the North Pole, the South Pole, where you are. That's where we are. Okay, you've got to understand. We can get rid of it. No ways, but at least understand it. Okay, useless. That's fine. I don't. I thought it was funny. I've got to be careful. You aren't you? So, within reason. Don't be nasty. You know, that was funny. That's purely psychological. That's what that's in. And try and save us time. I'll continue getting a live chat. Maybe we'll do the same with the Dow. Put on the US 30 and the NAS US 100 and S&P US 500. Some areas have that, like silver's XAG USD for silver. So maybe they'll do that just to, whatever. By the way, having said that, you probably come back to me now and said, no, they aren't. The Dow Jones US 30 is slightly different. Well, in a way, yes, you'd be right. You have something called the spot price of the Dow. The US 30 is the futures price or the CFD price or the forward price or whatever. If that's complicated, we don't have spot price on there. They're all futures, so don't worry about it. If it fascinates you, go and Google it and give an explanation. What's the difference between forwards, futures price and spot? What's the difference? And wade your way through that. I can't be bothered to explain it now. It doesn't really affect us here anyway. And thank God we're off single stock futures. We used to have futures closed out every 3 months. The hassle we had with that. What's that mean? How do we do? So we got rid of that. Thank goodness. Yeah, and what isn't about the futures and that, well, it can affect you because they're all futures on here. That's why I go around the clock. The spot opens up with the market over that country. That's why you have the jumping around on the NAS when it opens. Some spot traders there waiting to open to get in or out, like the share. But we don't, we haven't, so we go around the clock, so you don't have to worry. But if you're interested, go and Google it. Okay. Happy with that, good. So the trades seem to be getting all right. Let's see if old sloth features, GBP, CH, whatever it's now, CHF has come anywhere. You can almost hear it, hey? Just let it run. Brent, anything coming on Brent? Don't pull back on me now. No, it's not. It's the other way around. It's doing fine. Brent's doing okay. Hey, it's doing okay. If you get to 82.50, try to break 82. We're on a 15-minute, about half an hour, 20 minutes ago or so. It came back again, but it's having a bash. On the short term, it's broken through the 200 times 15 moving average. So it's looking good. Don't modify your stock to enter it. So you do what you like. I'm just suggesting to entry until it's broken 82. Maybe 82.25. There you are. Maybe 25 to 50, something like that. Not exact science. To protect yourself, take the risk out of the trade, and then you can relax going to sleep tonight, knowing the worst comes to the worst, you ain't going to lose on it. You can wake up with a big smile that's up there somewhere or higher. So that's doing just nice. It's a bit close. It's up to you, Mark. It's a bit close. $1.30 could easily come back, stop you, and then speed up again. Or go, stop grabbing. I don't do that too much to frighten you all off. We don't want institutional stop grabbing doing that. Because they see where your stop losses out there. And if it's close by, they often grab your product off you. So keep a bit of distance there. Oh, well, sorry about that. Shame. But yeah, Brent's in profit. Gold wasn't a few minutes ago in a profit. Doesn't even rattle. Still $8 a share up, or $8 an ounce up, I should say. The NAS actually chased the NAS this morning on a micro. Won't get in there. It's a bit of a chase. I would certainly want to have done on the other one. That's definitely a chasing it because it's so cheap. What the heck? Bit of a punt actually. And where was it? I'm sure I read now. Yeah, 12162. What's it doing now? About breaking even. But then we chased it a bit, but then it runs. Very small position. Don't worry about it. A couple of guys like the WTI one says we did that one. So be it. Similar, just slightly different price to Brent. So, oh yeah, you're a JPY. Is that still doing the business? No, what the hell's happening now? What on earth is that? Don't ask. Anybody know? I have not the slightest clue. I just hope the guys who took that modified stop loss. What the hell happened there? Did you all modify your Euro JPY? If you didn't, you're going to be highly fat. Don't ask. I do not know what sudden weakness came in the euro. Let's have the euro dollar. Maybe something's coming something. Nope. Let's have another euro. Euro JPY. We've just done that. Euro GBP. Nope. What happened to maybe the yen? Okay. Oh, it's not the euro's problem, it's the yen. But let's have a look at the yen ones. Let's start with the dollar yen. Okay, clearly something's happening in yen land. Yeah, it's definitely the yen. Not the euro, it's the yen. Something's happened. Maybe somebody's ordered 1 million Toyotas or something. I don't know. Wow, that's suddenly strength. Because remember, they're asleep now. Well, they're about 7-8 hours ahead of us. So that's what 7:24 is midnight, 1 o'clock where it is over there. So in theory, they should all be fast asleep. So maybe I have no idea. Well, why would you wouldn't get a fund in the middle of the night. You don't get Powell speaking at 12 o'clock or releasing data at midnight. You know what I mean? It's during the day. So clearly something's happened to the yen. We'll probably find out later on. Look at the news afterwards. Maybe NCBC will come out with it. Bloomberg, I don't know. It's coming out tonight. The CPI on it. Well, maybe that's it then. Well, I haven't got to filter that out. It's my fault. It might be 130 there. What are we now? Where is it? Yeah, it could be. It could be. Is it 1:30 in the morning over there? But why would no? Hang on. It's 1:30 in the morning. It's ahead of us. You're not right to CPI just after midnight. I don't get it. No. You know what I'm saying, Mark? I've never seen a fundamental when everyone's asleep. What's the point? So obviously something's happened there. We'll find out tomorrow. Maybe the sudden panic interest rate rise or something. But that's what you've got to be careful of, guys. Hey, Nico and company, that can happen. That's why you have to have a stop modify. Who would have thought that? Good thing I just checked because it's doing so beautifully up there. I hope some guys modify the stop and didn't make a loss of it. And the yen, you remember on the Euro JPY, let's go back to the original one. So I hope somebody actually modified it. Otherwise, bang. That's obviously a fundamental. Okay.
Rog, that was too close to the stop loss. And
yeah,
then we knocked me.
Yeah, yeah. Oh, well, I said 20 is a bit close up to you, so I'm trying to really dodge out of that one. So it'd only been 30, 35, we probably could have modified it, but that's completely unexpected. That I can't. I mentioned earlier on about trades. But most of my trades are good. This sort of thing is completely, utterly outside our control. Like a bomb going off somewhere. What the hell? I don't know. Probably find out later. Something radical's happened to do that. It's fallen off. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's have a look now. 1, 2, 3, 4. That's an hour, about hour and 20 minutes or so, hour and a half, whatever. It's come off 70 pips. Clearly something fundamental happened. Okay. What else can I say? That's what a pity. I hope somebody at least modified a bit, even not to entry. Reduce risk by modifying. My goodness, they're in a great panic at the moment. 142.77 for stop loss. Yeah, you stopped out. Yeah, well, what can I say? You get a lot of that and turned against me. Oh, shame. I don't know what else to say. But sometimes good reason for it. That is well, not repeat themselves in about 10 times, out of your control. That's why volumes are so utterly vital for occasions like that. And it could have been the opposite way. Suddenly hit GP, you don't know why that is, the other way around. See what's happening. If you flick a coin, it's inconvenient. If you go on long, so if you go on short, you probably jump the other way. Murphy's Law. Well, normally it's not. I like about 35.40. It's on the edge there. But at least, you know, sometimes worth reducing. So let's say you got 80 pip, maybe reduce it to maybe 30, 40 pips behind, even then you'd take a 10 pip knock. You know what I mean? But if you hadn't moved it at all, which is a pity because it was going nicely, then probably miss that. Okay. That's why on the gold, modify your stop, not too close. You've got to start thinking. All of them, your nice profit, start modifying it. If it's too close to entry, the price, then reduce the risk. Got to be honest with you, because these sort of things can really come up and bite. And it takes the fun out of it. He's doing so brilliantly. Let's go back to Brent to get some good news going. But then again, that's why Pete does it and that. You can't really blame him. We're so sick of this sort of thing happening, where you're going short there and this suddenly happens. You get well, it's good in this case, but if you're going short, it wouldn't have been. So in the end, it's sod it and you do that. Anyway, whatever. But yeah, you can deal with the rational, the unknown. Those you can't. That's you can't. Okay. Okay. Any comments, guys? Like a lot of guys, not so much now, but used to send me a lot of screenshots when they're red, and as if to say to me, they're all in the red. I'm going to say, yeah, you're quite right, they are all in the red. You can see that, yeah. So, what do you want me to do about it? I can't. I can empathize. Say, I'm sorry to see that happens. As if I can turn around and say, I'll change the color for you. I can't. On that note, now I'm starting to tempt to maybe we should move the stop up to 80.50 to protect. Something bomb might go up further. I don't know. These sort of things happen. So maybe it might be worth it. Maybe we put stop to 80.50. So I prefer $2, but $1.60 or something should be okay. Thank you, Nico. Yeah. I'm not blown, not mine. I'll trumpet it here. One or two guys been trading for a while before coming in here, and then finding there's quite a few things to pick up. Because normally they've been stuck on their own, or they ask people who don't know much, and they're scared to admit they don't much, so they make up some story. As you get to know me, guys, I try and be straightforward. If I don't know, somebody will say so. I won't try and look in the air and think of some fob off excuse that sounds intelligent. No, I don't bloody know. But thanks for that feedback. That's what I want to hear. I want positive feedback. If it's not, well, maybe constructive, we can work on it a little bit. But obviously, I've got an ego like everybody. I have a man I haven't personally got. So we all like accolades. Who doesn't? And it feels worth happening. Mark, do a quick sell. Yeah, it might be an idea. Mark. No, you're chasing it, Fiona. You're chasing it. I don't know what the problem is as well. I mean, if it was really massive, it would have come down even quicker. I don't know. Then maybe the problem's sorted and I might start bounce from here. Don't chase it there. Chasing's the wrong thing to do. If you missed it, you missed it. That's the end of that. Frustrated if it continues down, you didn't join it, but that's the rule of thumb, I don't chase it. And it looks like it's bouncing. I'm no surprise there. Nicely stopped you all out, eh? There you are. No, don't chase it down. Leave the thing alone now. You see, Nico, this is practical. I don't know if you've been to university, or those who haven't probably backed me up. A large percentage of what you learn at university is good to have to get your degree. But when it comes to the commercial, practical world, a lot of it you don't really use that much. The stuff I had to learn for this, swaps, forwards, options, you would be support, yeah, me. But I forgot now. I'd have to really brush up on it to do it again because I'm not using it every day. Don't chase in the wrong direction. You shouldn't be chasing it up to wait for a rally. On that subject, what's happening here? That's still hovering, yeah. Best thing, and that sounds a bit stupid thing to say there, but hopefully some guys get what I mean. Try and understand the fact that I don't care where you're from, what language, creed, culture, or religion you're from. We're built in with certain basic emotions. The major one is fear and then greed, but the other ones as well. And just remember, if you're feeling that, other guys are feeling it as well. Once you can sort of click into that sort of universal emotion, for a better word, it gives you a little bit more understanding. You think you're unique when you get that fear feeling. I hate to say it, mate, you're not. Culture is different, maybe, but that's built into the, never mind just the Homo sapien, but most animals as well. It's a protective feature in there, and it's often can be irrational. And it's far more powerful than greed, far more. If you lose 1,000 rand, you feel far more negative emotions than positive emotion if you win it, 1,000 rand, if you know what I mean. And that is the biggest thing in trading. That's why on a demo, you're wasting your time. You take the fear, greed out of it, you won't learn anything. That is the biggest thing you got to start getting to understand. That's why I take all these fancy indicators off. Click into the emotional side of what's actually happening through the news, the reaction to it. Sometimes it's beyond me why it happens, and watch what those candles are doing. You might think, well, the euro is incredibly strong, Japanese incredibly weak, like the GBP CHF. One's very weak, one's very strong, it's going nowhere. Well, I don't care. That's what's happening, so you've got to understand that. Oh, yeah, from that point of view, yeah, Mark says, yeah. Yeah, it's called Murphy's Law. And it actually works. I remember in Spain once, a friend of mine served a bar there, and had this big glass sort of jar there. And if you pick out the right number, like a raffle, something like that, you win a bottle of whiskey. So he turned around to me, he knew me well. He said, Roger, go for it. I said, no, you wasted time. You're a waste of time. Roger, go for it, waste of time. He bullied me into it. And I picked the right one out. He said, I knew that would happen. When you're absolutely convinced and negative about something, you end up going that correct way. You know what I mean? So I get exactly where you're coming from, Mark. You can't use it in your favor. You've got to really, to your deepest soul, say, no ways you're going to win this match. It's impossible. In your deepest soul, you think will win. There's no ways they're going to score a goal now. It's impossible. Bang, goal goes in. Yeah. That's why you have to retain your sense of humor. And what I have, as you know by now, guys, a very strong sense of the ridiculous, like 40 Towers, Monty Python, whatever. Very strong sense of ridiculous, because often it's just go figure. And keeps your mind okay anyway, keeps your mind. All right, anyway, moving on.
Roger, sorry, quick interruption. The yen moved because of the governor's speech, the new governor of the Bank of Japan, which mentioned that they will maintain the easy monetary policy to hold inflation down.
Okay.
It was a news conference on the G20 event.
Okay, thanks. Oh, hang on a minute. That's the giveaway. So he's making that speech. It's not in Japan, because that was my next question. That's all very fine. I get that. Thank you very much, Thorny. Brilliant. But why is he doing it? What's the time there? About midnight. Why is he doing it starting midnight? Okay, if it's a G20, he must be maybe somewhere in America or Switzerland or where they're supposed to be, which would be a present time zone. That, I think, answers that one. Thank you very much, Tony. Bit of research there. See where I'm coming from, guys. We said D20, I'm thinking, I don't know for a fact, the guy must be in another country, which is a similar time zone to us, when he made that statement.
Sorry, Roger, the G20 is hosted in India.
Well, there you are. And India's what, about 4 hours? So that's fair enough. It's only 9 o'clock at night. I'm guessing that. So thank you for that. It's in India. So there we are. Learned something there. Thanks very much again, Fandi. We need that sort of research. Thank you for taking the trouble. Yeah, so that's probably about 9 o'clock-ish there, which like we had the pal speaking last night. No problem there. Okay, well, that answers that question then. Well, there you are. You want to know that, NK. You want to know that, Pete. You want to know Mark, Fiona, Nico, whatever. He could have said something that had the opposite effect, and you think, what a brilliant trader you are. What a brilliant trade idea, Roger. And that's put me hands on. That's just bloody luck. In this case, it's obviously bad luck. But don't chase it now. You can't. You can't. That's why you have to have right volumes I don't think I ever convinced you are overexposed, because something like that, you cannot. You're driving brilliantly. You don't know some drunken guy is going to come through the red robot and smack into you. It's an uncontrollable thing. And it's an unknown. I mean, we know CPI because it says 4 o'clock CPI on whatever's coming out. Well, at least we know something we've read, but that's just out of the blue. Bomb goes off from the Union Building, and obviously the round will go for a tumble. You didn't know that, unless you're the bomber. Okay, well, well, anyway, so on that note, we'll try and look at something positive. Is gold still coming down? Yes, it is. That's positive. Brent's still going up. Yeah, we still hope probably go 82. Yeah, I think play a little bit safe. I like $2 gaps. So if you want to make it $1.50, you can, but I think you can at least move your stop to in case any other disaster comes up to protect. We don't want that to happen again. Okay, but that doesn't happen that often. I mean, that's a rarity. Bloody unlucky. Okay, guys, catch you tomorrow morning. I'll do the normal one here, and then I'm going to the office for whatever reason. Yeah, so I'll be leaving. So from about 11 till 12, you'll be able to get hold of me. Not to take an hour, but I'm going to do a few things, pack up or whatever. So probably about 11 to 12. So if you ask me a question by WhatsApp at 11 o'clock or just after, I'm tardy in my reply, probably in transition, not transition, in transit. Okay, guys. Right. Glad you benefited, Nico. Hope you all got something out of it, knowledge-wise, not from trading the Euro JP-wise, but the other trades are going okay. Okay, so at least that's good. Okay, catch you tomorrow. Those who can make it. Thank you, Fiona. Cheers, guys.